All right. Feeney Talks with Friends, episode 56. We have a great guest today. What's up, Barry?
Hey, how you doing? 56.
56.
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor. You know Lawrence Taylor?
Lawrence Taylor, yeah.
New York Giants, wonderful linebacker. He was number 56. We'll call this the Lawrence Taylor episode.
Okay.
Review on episode 55, Evan Gilchrist and Jim Polliner from Glastonbury Wealth Management. It was a great podcast. Did you know you can't ask a financial guy about the market? Did you know that?
I think I did.
And then they didn't want to talk about finances at all. They wanted to talk about donuts. Do you have a favorite donut spot?
I do, actually. It's our friend Donut Crazy. I do like them.
Yes. Episode 10, Irene from Donut Crazy. All right, Donut Crazy, shout out, which is also a sponsor, which reminds me, this cannot happen. Feeney Talks with Friends. We're on episode 56. We already talked about that. We are at Weha Brewing and Roasting on 141 Shield Street. Thank you, Cody and Andy, for allowing us to podcast here. Thank you, Dave from Direct Line Media, and Kyle, the new guy. Kyle.
Hey, Kyle.
He hasn't ruined my podcast yet. Good job, Kyle. And also Gastro Park, Donut Crazy you mentioned, West Hartford Lock, The Fix IV, and Keating Agency Insurance. All wonderful businesses,
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So thank you for our sponsors. And my name is Eric Feeney, founder and president of Friends of Feeney. Our mission is to help children and families that have heartbreak or tragedy. And I use this podcast, Feeney Talks with Friends, and I talk to wonderful people in the community that are doing great things. And you, Barry, do wonderful things in the West Hartford community. And it's an honor, and thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, West Hartford Pride. Tell us a little bit about West Hartford Pride.
West Hartford Pride. Well, we started up a few years ago with it all began with a rally, kind of in response to some things that were going on at the time. And we decided that we wanted to expand it and make it an actual festival. More than a party, we wanted to keep it, we wanted to have the fun, but we also wanted to insert some, education and awareness and activism even into the whole equation. And this was our our second in-person festival this past year, and it was great.
It's getting bigger and bigger every year.
It's getting bigger and bigger. We were told to start small and grow it, and that's what we're trying to do.
And Friends of Feeney had a booth, not this year, last year, and it was great. We met so many wonderful people. We had T-shirts, Be a Good Friend. We had a raffle. We were raffling off logos. We sold T-shirts and just meeting the community and having a blast. So thank you for setting that up. Thank you for inviting Friends of Feeney. It was a really great event. And I'm sorry we couldn't make it this year, but we will be back next year. Promise. I'm going on here. Pinky promise.
It's already on the calendar, June 24th.
June 24th. You heard it here. We'll be there. Friends of Feeney at the Pride Festival. You had a busy June.
Just a little bit.
Wow.
Pride started off with a flag raising in the center. And real quick after that, we had a kickoff party at Gastro Park. And that was, despite a little bit of rain at the beginning, very well attended. Just a great time and it's a family event.
Yep.
We try to make it open to everyone, and it's so cool to have the community and allies there gather.
Yeah, Gastro Park's a great place. Tate, episode 19. Tate was on Gastro Park episode. He's a wonderful person, and Gastro Park does wonderful things for the event, so it was a good time there.
Yep, absolutely.
You also were in Weha Roasting and Brewing. Did you do something here?
We did. We had there was two things over the weekend where we had kind of a Pride party, day-long Pride party here in which people could come in and just have a great time. And then the following day there was a drag brunch with Summer Orlando and Barbara Joan Street Sand.
Caffeine
Queens.
Caffeine Queen.
Yes.
Altogether the crew is called the Caffeine Queens?
Caffeine Queen was the name of the event.
Because it was here at a coffee place. Oh, I get it now. Okay.
And it was brunch, so presumably nobody was drinking yet.
Nice. Yeah, busy. So we can name a lot of events, but we're going to mix it in with a game.
Okay.
It's called First, Last, Best, Worst.
Ooh.
So your June events.
Yes.
You were busy.
Yes.
Well, do you have it'd be tough. This is tough, like picking your favorite child, but
Ooh.
do you have a best event, worst event? Your first event we talked about was the flag raising.
Yeah.
Excellent event on Unity Green, right?
Yep. Yep.
That was your first one.
Yep.
So that's scratched off. And your last one?
Was the Pride Festival.
Okay.
Which was...
Go out with a bang.
Yep. Go out with a bang, and it was fantastic. I don't have an estimate on how many attended yet, but we had it turned out to be about 18 different entertainers. We had 60, I think we wound up with 64, 65 exhibitors, vendors, whatever you want to call
Nice.
them, ranging from small nonprofits to LGBTQ owned businesses to some of our larger sponsors. And in there, we also had a drag queen story time, which was hosted by our friends at Barnes and Noble.
Nice.
So it was a great event. A day long from noon to 6 o'clock. It ended with a dance party, which is something we did last year and was very well received, and kind of like a tea dance on the square with kids dancing in the street, and it was a great time.
And like everyone goes, the mayor,
Everyone
all the state
goes.
reps, senators.
Yeah, they all show up and show their support. It's a great community event, and that's, Pride sometimes gets a reputation of only being for a certain population, and that's not how we envision West Hartford Pride. It's for the entire community.
No, wonderful event. So it's tough to ask. Do you have a favorite one or one that didn't work out so well? We can't say worst. We wouldn't say worst, but at least
No.
The best one, obviously.
The best one, well, you know what? For me personally, the best one, I'm going to go with Gastro Park kickoff, and for only one reason. Had I not had COVID during the festival, that probably would have been my number one. But COVID, Miss Corona, hit me at the wrong time.
Oh, it's the worst.
Just before the festival, I came down with it, so I don't think I was able to enjoy it quite the way I would have wanted to.
So Gastro Park, nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gastro Park. So you are the planning member of the West Hartford Pride. What's your title?
What's my title? Co-chair.
Co-chair?
Yep. I founded it. That's what our committee likes to accuse me of, and then we have two co-chairs currently, and a tight knit of volunteers. We're like most things, we have a tight knit of maybe 10 or so volunteers, and then a much larger net of people that help out.
Nice.
In the thick
Who's
of
on your
things.
board, or who are some chairs?
Well, co-chair is Johanna Schubert, who would have probably been here cheering me on, but she kind of blew out her knee the other day, so
Ouch.
hope she gets well quickly.
Speedy recovery, Johanna.
Yes, and then we have Dawn Ennis, who is lurking in the background here.
We see you, Dawn.
Carl, we have Carl and Aaron, Renee Kleinman. She's of great help, and a few others as well.
Very nice. All right, yeah, because as nonprofit Friends of Feeney, you need good board members.
Yeah, and to be correct, we're not a 501c3 yet. It's something that we finally decided that we were getting too big to not do, and this year is our immediate goal. Our short-term goal is to get that all taken care of.
Nice.
And to move forward as a nonprofit, a 501c3, and
Awesome.
and have all that fun.
So another game, 3 keys. This is sponsored by West Hartford Lock.
Okay.
3 keys that make you great at being the chair of the West Hartford Pride. What are 3 attributes or characteristics that a chair should have?
Wow. The ability to listen is always, no matter what, I think. It helps to have some ideas, and I think maybe just the ability to bring people together. for a common cause. I think those are, I won't say they're the top three, but they're definitely up there.
Listen, have ideas, bring people together.
Yep.
That's a good one. 3 keys. That's great. West Hartford Lock. So Barry Walters.
Yes.
BarryInCT. That's
Yep.
your Instagram name.
Yes.
And BarryInCT at Gmail to be reached on an email. Gmail.com.
Gmail.com.
Barry.
Yep.
So where'd you come up with BarryInCT?
Well, I moved here in '97 from Arizona, and at some point in there, I needed an email address, so it was in 1997 still available. So
So
we
not to
went
be
with it.
confused with Barry in Arizona.
No,
You're
Barry and AZ.
CT.
Nope,
AZ.
it's CT.
Nice.
Yes.
Very cool. And all right. Oh, Gastro Park. You mentioned Gastro Park.
Yeah.
So another sponsor. We're getting right into it. Favorite restaurant in West Hartford.
Oh,
If you
yikes.
can't pick one, we totally understand. That's a tough.
Favorite restaurant.
It doesn't even have to be in West Hartford. Anywhere.
Okay.
Because we have guests that feel they can't pick one because they don't want to
Yeah, I don't know that I want to.
cross anyone else.
It's really difficult because, we have our favorites. I'll put that, one of our favorites in our house is Sweet Chili's. I
Which
will
one?
say that. Sweet Chili's, Thai.
Oh yeah, where's that?
It's on Park Road.
Yeah.
Kind of
I
closer
heard
to
good things
Quaker.
about that, like
Yep.
by the theater.
Yep. Jay Renee's in that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
alright.
It's, that's one of our go-tos.
Nice. I have to try that place.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that in. I'm gonna add that as a shout out. I do a shout out in the link,
Okay.
and we're gonna shout out Sweet Basil,
Sweet Chili's.
Sweet Chili's, and it's a Thai spot on Park
Yep.
Road.
Yep.
All right, we'll be trying you out soon, and shout out. We'll put the link, Facebook page, Sweet Chili, Thai spot.
All right.
We go to Hot Basil on New
Hot
Park.
Basil. Yeah, I've been there as well. Sweet Chili's is right around the corner from my house, so it makes it
that's
convenient.
key.
It's good and it's convenient for us.
True,
so.
that's most important. Quick little commute
Yep.
right there. All right, so you're at Sweet Chili. There's a follow-up question.
Okay.
You can eat with 4 guests,
Yes.
any guests, dead or alive.
Oh,
Who are you
my-
eating with at Sweet Chili's on Park Road?
You're giving me some good questions here. Anybody. Probably jump all over the place.
Of course.
Let's see. Living or dead?
Living or dead.
Oh, man.
If you need 5 guests, I'm open for an additional guest if you're struggling.
The first name that came to mind when you said it was Harvey Milk, who, if you...
I was going to lean that because you have a quote of his
Yeah.
either on your website or in your Instagram page.
It's, I tend to follow, I tend to
Yeah.
go to him. He was one of the first activists that was recognized across the country and was unfortunately assassinated along with up here a colleague of his, the mayor actually, and it was.
Wasn't he the mayor of San Francisco?
Harvey Milk was on the board of supervisors, which is kind of their city council type
Okay,
of thing.
gotcha.
So, and he was assassinated by a rival, if you will, somebody who had been on the board and had been voted off.
There's
or
a
kicked
movie
off.
and famous actor plays him. Christopher Penn. Does it Chris?
Yeah,
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn. Yep.
Plays Harvey.
Yep.
Milk. Yep.
Sean Penn plays on that. So that's one. I'm actually at a loss because I don't, I follow people and I try to,
What about these 3 over here? Harvey Milk and these 3.
sure.
You guys want
Sure.
to have dinner at Sweet Chili's with Harvey Milk?
Not now, but back then it was a lot, yes.
Might be kind of tough now. But yeah, there's probably, a ton of people that, for different reasons, You know, when I was younger, I might have said Thomas Jefferson, to be honest with you.
Yep.
And I would have had a certain line of questions for him. And
Yep.
today, that line of questions, I'd probably still have dinner with him, but it would probably be a little bit different questions.
Right.
You know, but.
Funny how you find out the real history.
Right.
Which I just went to Hamilton with my daughter on Friday, and he gets a huge applause when he first enters. Like, he comes in later.
Yep.
And the crowd goes crazy for him.
Yep.
So he's a fan favorite.
He's a fan favorite, and you know, I guess you know, history.
Yeah. So I was gonna have mine would Mr. Rogers, Abraham Lincoln, Frank Sinatra, an old dirty bastard from the Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh, okay, that would be an interesting
Right?
group. Yeah,
So you
absolutely.
could be very.
Yeah.
There's variety.
Yeah, yeah. I've never become so infatuated with a single person that I felt like I will say that, you know, there have been times where I've been like, you know, you're driving down the road. We were talking earlier about the commute, and you start thinking about things, and it's like, you know, what if a historical figure was, you know,
yeah.
zapped into the seat next to you, and how would you explain what they saw? You know, I do that kind of thing every once in a while, which is a little strange. I realize it, but
What's your most recent one? You got a recent one?
no, it's been a little bit since I did that, but it probably would have been Thomas Jefferson or one of them. It's usually like a so-called founding father that
Yeah.
you know, somebody historical that helped bring the colonies together, and now we have to explain what the heck happened.
Yeah. What happened?
For the better and for the
You
worse.
wrote this piece of paper, and it just went off to it, the whole thing.
For better and for worse. I mean, it goes both ways.
That's a trick I send home to parents as a third grade teacher. Instead of saying, "Hey, how was school?" you say, "If an alien zapped down into your classroom, what would he hear or see?"
That's
Because
awesome.
then the kid triggers like, or what was a funny word that you heard today, or who made you laugh,
Yep.
or, you know, if your pencil could talk, what would it say? All these different questions and saying, "How was school?" Because you're
Right.
gonna get good.
Fine.
What'd you do? Nothing. But if you ask a silly way, like, "Hey, if an alien zapped in,"
Yep.
so it's like, how was school? And there's all these fun ways. So that's a good one. Like, if Thomas Jefferson zapped down into your class, into your car,
Into your car. What
on your
would you
commute
say?
to New Haven, what would you say?
Yep. Yep.
So how is New Haven?
New Haven's great. It's bustling, lots going on.
Yeah.
You know, I work down on Chapel Street, kind of a stone's throw from downtown, and you know, it's
APNH?
APNH,
Very
a
nice.
place to nourish your health.
And how long have you been there?
I have been there since 2014.
Nice.
2014.
Yep. I met my wife in New Haven. I went to Southern Connecticut State, and we lived in Westville. So
Yep.
near and dear to my heart, New Haven.
Yeah.
What's your pizza spot?
Ooh, I'm modern.
Modern.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm a modern pizza guy. Yeah.
Yeah, we used to go to Abate's, which is next to Libby's, like Libby's with Italian ice, and then Abate's was
Yep.
it's weird that we had
Yeah.
Sally's.
You can't, I mean, people might argue with me, but bad pizza in New Haven is oftentimes better than
Yeah,
any pizza elsewhere. So,
yeah.
you
Ned
know,
Lamont loves bragging about our pizza. About
Yes.
Connecticut being the #1 pizza spot.
yes.
The Barstool has a guy, Dave Portnoy. He says Sally's is the #1. Sally's, Modern, and Pepe's are in his top 3 of 4.
Yep. I think we're getting one here in West Hartford,
And
actually.
yes, I live right up here on New Britain Ave. So from my house, I'll be able to walk to a Pepe's and a Sally's.
There you go.
Can't beat it.
There you go.
And just think, when I was in New Haven and my wife's like, "I'm pregnant, we need to move." And both being educators, her being from East Granby, me being from Waterbury, West Hartford was like right in the middle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to move there. You know, I want to stay in New Haven but
Close to the pizza.
yes, it turned out to be like a wonderful move, greatest move. I'm in a great school system, you know, meeting wonderful people like you. So
West Hartford is
West Hartford's the
really
spot.
awesome.
I'm very happy
Yeah.
that we moved here. My girls are in the school system. They love the school system. I love it as a parent and a teacher, so it
Yep.
just means the world to be in West Hartford.
Yeah, I have a now 16-year-old, and it's as you said, good school system and lots of resources for
Yeah.
them, for the kids. So
No, it's great. Yeah, all the teacher talk. I've been a teacher for 18 years. I taught 9 years at Kingsbury School, where I went to school, and I've taught 9 years at Wolcott School, where my daughters went to school.
yep.
Do you have a favorite teacher?
Oh, favorite teacher would have been, there's two, and sometimes I confuse the two of them together. One was in middle school and one was high school. Mr. Woods was the high school, and both of them actually were, they were good about presenting alternate views of things. They were both government history teachers, and so they weren't towing a line, and they were willing to discuss, and this is back in the 80s, so a little while ago, discuss, what,
So you're a big
this
history guy.
is what's in the books. This
yeah.
this is what, what some other people saw. So
That's good. When a teacher can do that, like talk real to you,
Yep.
you respect that more.
Yeah, and I don't remember which one it was, the middle school or the high school, but I remember him saying, if you're, as I recall, the exact thing was, if you're sitting on your rocker on your front porch, not doing anything, not voting, and not participating in anything, then you kind of,
Yeah.
you
You get what you get.
get what you get, and it's important to act on your on what you want and what you think you need.
Do you think those words inspired you to, be a campaign manager, get involved in politics, start a nonprofit? Were those inspirational words?
I think so, and also I give a little credit to my mother. I give a lot of credit to my mother because, it was great to have those teachers, but my mom had already sort of instilled those, these values of respect authority, but question it. The truth is not always, what people tell you, and you have to, step back and be willing to listen to other viewpoints. And, she did that with myself, my brother and sister at a very early age. And, it's carried through with all three of us till now, and I'm still pretty much like that. It's like I'm not going to take somebody's word for it just because of who they are.
I like that. Was your mom a teacher?
No, not at all.
Sounds like teacher words.
Yeah, no, she was. I mean, she's probably one of the smartest people I know, but she was not a teacher. She was.
It's like believe half what you see and nothing of what you hear.
Well,
I messed that up. But
Yeah,
it's close.
well, there's always a story. There's always something that lies underneath, And at the time I lived, when I was young, we were in South Dakota, southwestern South Dakota, and it was, it was a time when Native Americans in South Dakota were not exactly valued, and questionable whether they still are as to what they should be. And, there was a lot of things we saw. It was the AIM movement when I was little, and my mom would, she basically said, this is what they're doing. This is what you're being told. This is what has happened. You give, the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation, you give the people wood houses, and they have no wood to burn in their wood stove they were given. What are they going to do? They're going to chop up their houses and to stay warm in a South Dakota winter. So, she was able to say, look, there's reasons why things are the way they are. Don't just take it for face value.
Yeah, and you said you moved around a lot. So you were in South Dakota, Arizona.
Yep.
I'm going to that, and the reason why?
Well, I was born on Ellsworth Air Force Base outside Rapid City, South Dakota, and that's where my father had met my mother. And so we had a little bit of Air Force Brat going on, where we went to Guam for the island paradise of Guam for a couple of years, so I hear. And then we wound up back in Indiana, stateside, where my brother and sister were both born, and then back to South Dakota. By then, my father was out of the military, and I guess it was the late 70s. He had artificial hips put in, and he couldn't deal with the cold anymore. So that took us down to Prescott and then Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, very cool. And you were a Wildcat at the University of Arizona?
I was a Wildcat, bear down.
What was your degree there?
It was geography and regional development.
Oh, nice.
So, basically urban planning and the like. It was
Very cool.
nothing that I'm doing now. But.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did that? And then you have a certificate of nonprofit management, or from
certificate in nonprofit management from UConn, which is kind of an abbreviated version of the master's, where you get to pick and choose what works for you, and you get a certificate. And I did that after working in retail for more years than I care to say, but it was great in that it sort of combined this nonprofit sector with the retail that I'd been doing, the business acumen, if you will. And
You think that would help me in my position as founder of a nonprofit?
there's some great stuff in there. Talking about evaluation of your programs and stuff like that, there's some tools in there that you could probably find useful.
I'm all about getting all the help I can get.
I hear you.
Learning everything I need to learn to be, to make sure this is working and beneficial to people we're helping. And
yeah, I mean, it's got some, I found it very valuable. I would do it again.
How many classes? Is it like a full master's class or a couple classes?
No. You know what? I'm trying to remember. That was a couple of years back. It's like half the classes, basically.
Were there like papers and assignments and?
Oh yeah, you still had all that good stuff.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I think I'm too old for that these days.
I don't know. At the time, I was working full time, and I still am, but most of those classes were held in the evenings. So, I'd race home from work, and if I was lucky, have some time, and then go to the class.
In West Hartford, UConn?
Yeah, at the time, it was in West Hartford. Yeah,
like
it's all
cohort
downtown now.
Of how many were in the cohort?
Oh, geez. It wasn't huge. You're asking me to remember things I can't remember. I can't remember yesterday. It wasn't many. The whole school, though, because it was public policy, so, in that, it may be a couple hundred, few hundred, but the classes were always fairly small.
Very cool. I just want to do a plug. Can I do a plug about, we have a golf tournament. So, do you golf?
Not in years.
All right. Well, you're going to golf hopefully on September 10th
All
at
right.
Goodwin Golf Course in Hartford. September 10th, our Friends of Feeney's first ever golf tournament. So, $500 for a foursome, and we're helping children and families that have heartbreak or tragedy. This is thanks to Omar and Miles. My good buddies are the co-chairs of that. We have 5 foursomes signed up. We're looking for 18, so we need actually 6. We just had one today. So we have 12 more spots. We just want every hole filled to start us off. There are 18 holes, 4 times 18, so hopefully we get that going. Please come by if you can.
Well,
It's gonna
maybe
be a
we'll
great
get John
time.
and Tiffany on a team there.
John Bailey, do you golf?
I try my best over at Rockledge.
All right, keep practicing. September 10th, check your schedule.
Oh, everyone loves Goody. Great.
All right, Goody. See, John Bailey likes Goody. He approves. There's some people that were like, Goody needs some work or it wasn't good, but over the years, right, they made huge improvements.
Tons of improvements. It's a wide open course. Solid.
Perfect for a tournament. We're going to have a hole-in-one contest, a long drive contest. Hopefully John Bailey's going to be there. John Bailey. All
We'll
right.
see.
Dawn, do you golf?
My father said that if there were 3 strikes in golf, I'd be out at every hole. So no.
Tiffany, do you golf?
No, I busted my cousin's head
Well, I'm so glad I asked if you guys golf. Those are all wonderful answers. Dawn strikes out.
I learned
John Bailey loves Goody. And Tiffany once almost killed her cousin.
I learned golf in Arizona, where the courses are plentiful out there.
Oh, that's true, yep.
Yeah.
So golf tournament. And one more. Irish night. Dawn, you mentioned you're Irish.
Oh, indeed.
Irish night, YardGoats Stadium, Friday, August 19th. Join Friends of Feeney supporting a family called Friends of Nicholas, the Parenti family. We're raising money for Nicholas. He needs some support, and so we're helping out. Friday the 19th, they're going to be $20. It's Irish night. You can pay in Venmo, Cash App. It's going to be a great time. Two things. So we got a golfer and an Irish person. Irish. From the motherland. Where in Ireland are you from?
My family's from Leitrim, Mayo, and Cork.
Nice. The Feeneys are from Waterford, right at the tip.
Oh, we have your crystal.
Yes.
Nice. The bears from here, Roscommon.
Roscommon. All right. Cool.
There you go. And McGinnis. She married in.
You're in. Any McGinnis. That's a great Irish name. Have a Guinness. McGinnis. Cool. So we got the golf tournament. We got the YardGoats Stadium. We talked about the shirts. So did you pass out some shirts at the Pride Fest?
We did. We had you provided us with some of the ones from last year,
Yeah.
but then we also had our own this year, as I'm wearing one right now, and
Really nice.
even brought one for you.
Did you bring one?
I did. I didn't know what size, and I thought I'd ruin the surprise if I asked you. So,
I love some
but if you need a
t-shirts.
different size, you can definitely
Love
have one.
t-shirts. Boom. That's my size.
That's the size.
Large and in charge. Be loud and be proud.
Absolutely.
Love some T-shirts. What's Hartford Pride? It's getting bigger and bigger. Soon to be a nonprofit.
Yep.
No, you had you ran down some. Let's just run down some wonderful events. So you talked about the flag raising.
Yep.
Gastro Park on the 2nd. I have Weehaw Roasting and Brewing on the 11th. You had the rally. You did a Fleet Feet fun run and walk.
Yep.
So, busiest June ever. And
Yeah.
that was June 22nd at Fleet Feet. Did
Yeah.
you run or walk?
I did not, because that was
COVID
the beginning
day?
of my COVID. And then we also
Soccer
had
game?
a fun ride
With the Trek Newington
with
Pride
Trek
ride?
Newington, and the Hartford Gay and Lesbian Health Collective actually organized it with us. And they, we had a couple dozen riders out there. It was awesome
Tell
to
us
see
a
that.
little more about Hartford Gay and Lesbian Health Collective. I was interested about that one.
They are located on Broad Street, the main office there in Hartford, and they provide a number of services, HIV and STI testing. They also have dentistry there. And,
Oh, nice. How long have they been around?
Ooh, good question. They'll probably kill me for not being able to answer. But let's see. AP&H is 38 years old. I think they came in shortly after.
Very nice.
So I think they've been around 30 plus years.
And where in Hartford are they located?
Broad Street.
Broad Street, yeah, you
Yep.
said that. Very cool. And how'd you Is it the first time you've collaborated with them on a bike thing?
No, I've collaborated with them last year, and they were also a sponsor, both last year and again this year, of Pride. And then in my regular work, I
Oh, wow.
work with them.
So you
from
have
time to
friends
time.
that are there.
Yep.
Very cool. And then New Park Brewery, you had 2 events at New Park Brewery.
We did. We had the comedy show, which was fantastic.
Sold out. I saw that sold out like
It's-
weeks before. That
It
was
sold
awesome.
out, and we had comics from around New York, Connecticut, Massachusetts, mostly.
Were all the comics
local.
gay and lesbian? Or?
They were.
Okay.
LGBTQ part of the community
Yep.
somewhere on the spectrum. And then the other event was Tell Me Another. That was in collaboration with Terry Wolfish Cole, who does a storytelling events. And last year we collaborated with her on that, and we did it again this year. And it's just
Was it at New Park last year too?
no. Last year it was actually at the Universalist Church of West Hartford, in the back parking area, which was kind of cool.
Do you guys do moth rules? You only get 8 minutes, or how's that work?
They're given, they're given a specific amount of time, and then they tell something
Very cool.
typically about themselves, and It can be very moving. It can be funny. It can be
Good mix.
Yeah, it's one of those you'll laugh, you'll cry type of things.
Yeah.
It really is cool.
It's a great day. Laugh, cry, and think.
Yep.
It's a wonderful day.
Yep.
No, I do storytelling with Speak Up, Matt Dix. So I've told a story. I got beat up by a guy with no arms and no legs. How I met my wife in New Haven. And one of my favorite teachers, Mrs. Jarrell, she was my 5th grade teacher, and then she ended up being the principal who hired me. So this woman, very important to me. So she's my favorite teacher, if you were to ask Mrs. Jarrell.
And she must have liked you. So.
Yes, I guess so. And then had to retire early for early onset of Alzheimer's. So it was really touching, really special person to me. But that would be my story. And so New Park, I like New Park a lot.
Yeah,
It's a good spot.
I like it. It's a good venue there with the room, the barrel room.
Yeah, cool people. Tom is great.
Yep.
So we got that. The flag. So
Yeah.
the Pride flag has been maybe adapting or changing a little bit. It started off, being the red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and then they
Yep.
added the triangles.
Well,
Or those
actually, there
chevrons.
was actually an intermediary there
please
too,
go
where
on.
there was the Philadelphia flag, which just added black and brown to the top of
We
the
have a
flag.
flag?
And
Hold on, I'll pull it up on my phone while you're talking.
okay, and then it got a little more interesting because they wanted to start adding in some others, and they brought in the black, the brown, the pink and blue and white, which is for our transgender community members, and then the yellow with the purple ring is the intersex folks. So took the original and added to it, the evolution
So
to
I'm just gonna
become more
show so we could
inclusive.
pull it up on Amazon. So then the colors are Pride, and these are for maybe people. Are those for
The black and brown would be for Black and Latinx communities or persons of color. And then the pink, blue, and white is transgender.
Gotcha.
And then this flag here that we're looking at on the
up there we
wall
have,
has
yep.
the yellow and the purple ring for intersex.
Intersex.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right, got a little lesson. I need
Yeah.
always learning.
It's, evolving to be more inclusive. And
And how would I approach a situation when someone's transitioning, and they've been someone to me my whole life,
Yeah.
a name,
Yep.
and then that person, has changed
Yep.
and wants to go by a new name?
Right.
Should there be a process of accepting me making a mistake that this person has been this? We'll say this person was Jennifer, and now she wants to go by, Frank. So Jennifer, I've been referring to her as Jennifer the whole time,
Right.
and now I've known for 2 weeks that now you want to go by Frank.
Yep.
There should be a process. You when I say, "Hey Jennifer," shouldn't be like, "It's Frank now," right? Is there some patience?
Well,
This
you
is
know what?
Someone close to me that maybe it feels that could kind of bust me.
Yep.
But I also want to be like, "Hey, give me some time. I'm also going through this learning."
Right.
And so would you like to speak on that?
Well, first thing to recognize is not every person's going to be the same, as far as their transition, as far as that process for them. They may be fully willing to give you a little bit of leeway,
Yep.
and another person might not be, and you kind of have to respect where they are.
Yeah.
And, when it comes down to it, mistakes, you're going to make mistakes with
Yeah.
names and pronouns and stuff.
Yeah.
And, when you do, the best thing to do is to own it.
Yeah.
Don't try to pass it off as, well, it's your fault you changed your name, or,
Yeah.
don't do that. You
And
made
I
the
said, "I'm
mistake.
sorry," and I
own it.
corrected myself right away.
You own it.
But I also apologize 4 times in this one sitting because
Yeah.
it just
Well, one thing, you have to remember for some people, particularly if it's been a while, deadnaming somebody, using a name that they no longer use, it's hurtful. And so, you might be allowed a mistake or two, but if you keep repeating it, then there's
Deadnaming. That's okay.
yeah,
It's called
that-
deadnaming.
Deadnaming is when you refer to the
Use the
person
old
as
name. Okay, former name or
Right.
old name or dead
Right.
name. Okay.
right.
Yeah, it just take a minute, take pause, think, and then slow down.
Like most things, own it.
Own it.
You know, when you make a mistake, own it, and don't keep repeating it.
And what about comparing coming out, in 2022 and maybe coming out when did you come out?
I came out in the early mid '90s, early '90s, and for me it was probably a little bit different for some because I had a very accepting mother and very accepting family, so I probably made it harder on myself than I could have. When I came out to a couple of my friends, they were both angry that I took so long and that I questioned how they would react. And so some of that is that internalized stigma that we all carry around with us, and internalized homophobia even for those who are part of the LGBTQ community. So, I think I made it harder on myself than I needed to, but it is very different now, I think. You still have that internalized stuff going on for a lot of kids. So for, them or a lot of adults too, it's still difficult, but also just seeing what's happening, having a 16-year-old son and seeing him and his friends and how they interact and how, being somewhere on the spectrum of LGBTQ plus is just not what it was. When I was that age, it was, there was still no hand holding in public. There was still, a lot of negative things said. You certainly wouldn't see signs and billboards and even corporate, we've had this discussion as part of Pride, corporate rainbow capitalism. And, for some of us who are older, had I seen a Pride flag, in advertisement when I was 18, I would have, it's just something that, you didn't see then. And it would have been a step towards, normalization at that point. And so it's very different.
Do you know when the Pride flag was introduced or developed?
Oh no.
Come on, history buff.
70.
Oh, in the 70s.
70. I want to say 72.
Cool.
I'd have to go back and do my research, but I think it was 72.
And military dad?
Yeah.
Was okay? Did you?
My dad was perfectly fine.
Because I just, you assume, prejudge, military dad, 80s, would give a little pushback?
He also was not, he was in the military, but he questioned, authority. He was a B-52 mechanic, so he worked on these giant, they're huge
fighter
bombers.
Jets, yeah.
They're bombers,
Yep.
and you feel them a mile away when they're taken off. And stationed in Guam, he knew that these planes were coming back with less fuel than they should have, and so he knew that they were going to places that were beyond, at the time, Vietnam. So, and then of course it was later determined that yes, we were flying and bombing in other areas. And he made the mistake of telling my mother. The story goes he told my mother, and my mother started mouthing off about it, and his commanding officers told my dad that you need to keep that shut, keep her mouth shut, basically. So which was not going to happen, and he knew it.
So he was always, their mom spoke up against what was not right and fought
they would,
for,
yeah,
I like
as
that.
much as they could. And, it's kind of hard when Uncle Sam is making your paycheck to scream too hard.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No, be an advocate, speak up.
Yep.
No, I think that's great. All right, be proud. That's awesome. Good story about mom and dad. Thanks for sharing that. That
Yeah,
was
no
really
problem.
cool. And then, oh yeah, coming out. We talked about that. So
Yeah.
that was in the 80s. No, awesome, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. Wonderful. Anything else you'd like to share about the topic?
About coming out,
Yeah.
I think there's probably a few things that I'd love to share.
Yeah, please do.
You know, if I were to, talk to, myself, my younger self, it would be, don't be so hard on yourself and accept yourself, because,
Now,
nobody's.
to clarify, when you say hard on yourself, were you stuck in like a dilemma to come out, or were you not confident, or were you questioning your choice?
I was questioning, and I was afraid to let it be known. It's funny because in cleaning just a couple days ago, I came across. I think I kept a journal for like 2 months of my entire life, but it was when I was coming out, and going back and reading through it. As a 53-year-old man, I was kind of like, dude, get a hold of yourself. It wasn't that bad.
Oh, really?
And so, it's really, it really is, don't, really don't be so hard on yourself. And, others are going to accept you and some are not. And it doesn't matter whether you're gay or not gay, that's how the world works. And,
Yeah.
there are going to be people that don't like you, and that's unfortunate, but don't let it drag you down.
Someone came out to me and was upset and crying and stuff, and I'm like gonna start crying, and then they finally tell me why, and I'm like, I thought you were gonna tell me you're dying with cancer or something. I'm like,
Hey.
that's totally okay. Like, yeah, it's a tough choice to tell someone or to come out, and I couldn't imagine, you got the back and forth feeling, or just questioning someone.
Well, and the other thing I would say is we do live in an era where being LGBTQ plus is more accepted and more embraced. However, that's not true for everyone and for every place. We still, we're seeing places going backwards right now as far as rights and how people are treated. And I think it's important for those of us who live in places like Connecticut, West Hartford, that are very, open and affirming to stick up for those who maybe can't or are being overridden, if you will. It's right now we have, I think it's something like 14 states or so that have similar to the Florida's Don't Say Gay bill going through their legislature. And we have in Florida, where one school district, they were instructed to take their safe place signs down, and teachers were instructed to get rid of their photos of their significant others if they were same-sex couples and such. So this is going backwards, and I think it's important for us to celebrate who we are with things like Pride, but it's also very important for us to be loud, be proud, which was our theme this year.
Okay.
And let other people and other places know that we're here, and we're going to stand up and
No, I like it.
move forward.
I say that too. Stand up proud and tall,
Yep.
Be proud.
Yep.
So that's awesome. Be loud, be proud.
Yep.
I love the saying. And thank you for sharing that. Wonderful stories and just opening up. And, hopefully our listeners are learning and raising awareness. So it's important to be a good friend,
Yep. Absolutely.
Hold the door for people, give a compliment, be charitable, pick up trash that's not yours, and just love everybody. So we're all about that.
You know, it might be cliche, but be kind.
Be kind. Easy.
Yeah.
So easy, so simple. It's
Yep.
difficult for some people.
Yep, and it's returned.
Yeah.
Most often it's returned.
Cool. So we got BarryInCT@gmail.com. BarryInCT on Instagram. Pride Weehaw on Instagram.
Yep.
What time we got there, Kyle?
So we got 50 minutes on the clock.
50 minutes with Feeney. 50 minutes with Feeney. How you feeling after 50 minutes with Feeney?
I'm feeling pretty good.
All right. You asked about Donut Crazy. Is your favorite donut? Do you have a favorite donut at Donut Crazy?
Oh my gosh. No, I don't. I've had a few different ones, and I can't think of what my favorite would be. The most memorable, and I don't know if the one here in West Hartford has it, but the one in New Haven did. That was a cheeseburger.
Oh, did they make the cheeseburger here?
Do they have it over here? I've never looked. I've
That's
never
crazy.
checked.
You would eat that cheeseburger between two donuts?
We did at work. We actually, decided to see. This was pre-COVID. We decided to see what all the fuss was about,
Yeah.
and we ordered donuts and we ordered the burger and we
Oh, you made them?
shared.
Oh no, don't they come together made, or you have to
No,
make
no,
it
no. We
yourself?
ordered some. We ordered a number of things, donuts and the burger, and we shared just to kind of
Try it out.
get a yeah. It's
Interesting.
very good.
I think the YardGoats had it. The Big E has it. Crazy Burger at the
Yeah.
Big E. 2 donuts and a burger.
Yeah, it's something about the salt and the sweetness. And
You ever have Neil's Donuts in Wallingford?
I believe I have actually.
So we did a donut off last episode 55 with Evan and Jim. What did I bring? I brought Donut Crazy. Jim brought Neil's. Evan brought Elmwood Bakery.
Uh-huh.
So we compared their honey dip. We compared their jelly donut, their Boston cream. And then, Neil's cuts their jelly donut, spreads the jelly evenly throughout the donut, puts it back together. So every bite gets jelly. Instead of just squirting it in the hole
Right,
where
right.
you may get ratio, proportion, may
Exactly.
not get jelly.
You get a blob in the middle, and that's it.
So I was like mind blown. And then Elmwood came through with a chocolate covered caramel drizzle. Oh,
chocolate and caramel.
so yes.
Have you ever tried Tasties?
Where's that?
It's New Britain Avenue.
Tasties?
Tasties. It's in Hartford,
Come on.
and they're mini donuts.
Even better, so you could eat more.
Delicious. So you can eat
You
twice.
eat like
as
10 of
many.
them, and you're like, hey, but
Yeah,
they're small.
But they're small. Half the calories, right?
On New Britain Ave in Hartford?
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, New Park Avenue, near Park
Past New Park Road?
Street.
New Park Brewery, past New Park Brewery? Past
no,
the movie
no.
theater?
Yeah. It's going to be near. I think it's Hamilton and New Park.
Oh, we're going to
I
put
think
them
it's
in the
the cross
shout outs
street.
too. We
Yeah,
got Sweet
Tasties.
Chili shout out, Tasties in Hartford
Yeah,
shout
they're
out.
just like little mini donuts. Delish.
Any other donut spots you want to shout out?
No, I think that's enough.
All right, crazy questions.
Uh-oh.
Sponsored by Donut Crazy on Farmington Avenue, right next to Zahara. Scott Miller, episode 46. Scott Miller from the Doro Group, so they're on. Hopefully Scott Miller, I haven't reached out, but Scott Miller, hopefully you're going to do breakfast sandwiches for this. I had him on the podcast. I'm like, hey, we're having a 50th podcast celebration at Playhouse on Park. Can you guys do the food? He's like, absolutely. Guy
Nothing like
sends
subtle hints.
$3,000 worth of food to the
Yikes.
Playhouse on Park.
That's awesome.
And it was amazing. Like, anything you wanted. Their hummus is amazing.
We have some great businesses.
Oh, my God.
Great people here in West Hartford, and with Pride, we Pink Flamingo, Ashley.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing.
I gotta have her on.
She's amazing.
I have her card. I met her.
Yeah,
I love that idea. Like, cool concept. She just won
Balloons.
like Entrepreneur of the Year for the West
Yeah.
Hartford Chamber. Our new business. Oh, what'd she win, Dave? New business? Pink Flamingo? She's cool.
Yeah.
We're gonna get her on. What's her name?
Ashley's
Ashley.
Sapato.
You're gonna be a guest on Feeney Talks with Friends.
Sorry if I butchered your name.
All right. So what minute are we? Ooh. Well, I've already had Chris Clark on. Who else won? Avi. Avi's long overdue for coming on the podcast. He just donated more We Care computers. He has given families in need like 25 computers.
That's awesome.
Because I work very closely with the Hillcrest community, and just during at-home learning, we gave laptops, and Avi thank you again, Avi. He gets a lot of shout-outs on the podcast, but well-deserved because he is a wonderful, good-hearted person, Avi.
Good people, as they say.
Good peoples. He's good peeps. What minute are we for Donut Crazy? No, so Dave, you kind of bust in. I asked when Donut Crazy is, right? And then we go off on a tangent. Yeah. Should you wait to hit it when I get into the questions or when I say it?
Sometimes I wait.
All right, hopefully you hit it right now at this point. Donut Crazy. Are you ready for crazy questions sponsored by Donut Crazy?
Hit me with them.
Farmington Avenue. Irene from episode 10. Do we already talk about that?
Yes,
See, I'm
yes.
dragging on. All right. What is your favorite color?
Blue.
Would you rather be a cat or a dog?
Cat.
Would you rather be a cookie or a brownie?
Brownie.
Would you rather read Harry Potter or Harold and the Purple Crayon?
Purple crayon.
That's a quick read.
Yeah.
What's your favorite animal?
Probably going to go back to the cat.
All right.
Any cat.
How much money do you have?
On my person right this minute?
Yeah, empty your pockets.
Not a
Well,
dime.
Let's play a new game.
Not
Empty
a dime.
your pockets.
I have plastic, and that's it.
That was another game. What's in your pocket or what's on your feet?
Sperry's.
Sperry's. Boat shoes?
Yes. But yeah.
Oh, nice. Slides. Those are
Yeah.
nice. Sperry's on his feet. All right. How much money do you have? How old are you?
53.
53. What's your favorite car?
Oh. The one I'm driving right now.
Nice. What's your favorite thing about your job?
About my job, knowing that I am helping in some way, helping others, helping communities.
Nice. Do you have any children?
I have one, 16.
16. Hall or Connard?
Connard.
Do you know Feeney?
Do I know Feeney?
That's me.
I think I do.
What's your favorite Harry Potter character?
Oh, my goodness. I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan, which probably just lost me a lot of people.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Do you like summer?
Too hot.
All right. So my next question was going to be why?
I like 72 degrees.
Would you rather eat pizza that tastes like ice cream or ice cream that tastes like pizza?
I think I would go with the pizza that tastes like ice cream.
Would you rather have an extra finger or an extra toe?
Toe.
All right. Would you rather eat pasta or spaghetti?
Aren't they the same?
True. What's your favorite emoji?
Ooh. The smiley face with the eyes that are kind of like, and the tongue sticking
bugged
out.
out? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Kind of like,
Yeah. Would you rather break your arm or break your leg?
neither.
Yeah, right. That's terrible. Would you rather be a cat or a dog?
Cat, hands down.
Would you rather have sprinkles or no sprinkles?
No sprinkles.
Chocolate or strawberry?
How about a chocolate covered strawberry?
Ooh. Good answer. Good answer. Do you have siblings?
One of each, one brother, one sister.
Oh, so do I. One brother, one sister. Where do you fit in?
The oldest.
Yeah, I'm the oldest too. Barry.
Yeah.
Is your middle sister and then younger brother?
No.
Other way around.
My sister's the young one. Poor thing.
Poor.
By the time it got to her, the curfew was like down to 8 o'clock,
Right?
you know.
Isn't that true? The youngest, there's a funny joke. My nephews, I have 3 nephews. The first kid, when they're babies, the first kid eats dirt. The mom brushes, calls the nurse, calls the hospital. My kid can't eat dirt. The second kid, you clean them out with soap. The third kid, you're we're going to call that lunch.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So that's 3-kid syndrome.
Yeah.
Would you rather be loved or smart? Oh, would you rather be rude and loved or smart and ignored? That's a tough one.
Rude. I don't want to be rude. So
Smart and ignored?
I guess.
That's a tough one. But you're still
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, I'd rather.
Do you have a pet?
I mean, I have a 16-year-old, so I'm already ignored.
True. I'm getting that now too.
Do I have a pet? Currently, I do. Currently, I actually have a frog.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is it named?
Yeah, Rufus.
Did you find it outside and brought it inside, or did you pay for this
My
frog?
son brought home a tadpole from the ice. It was like March of last year. And, after a week or two, the ADHD was over the frog, the tadpole. So I had it, and believe it or not, I fed it.
So you bird this thing pretty much.
Yeah,
You've seen the full cycle.
It's interesting because I fed it what they said to feed it, which was like leaves, lettuce and whatever, and not a thing. It didn't grow at all. And one day I said, "What the heck?" and threw a piece of lunch meat in there, and the thing attacked it. So apparently I have a carnivorous frog.
Rufus the frog that eats meat.
Yeah, and he.
So you've had this for 1.5 years almost.
I have, and he's still
Rufus,
hopping
still
around
kicking.
his little terrarium thing. Yeah,
Rufus.
eats little roly-polies and.
Yeah, that's funny because I bought my kids during COVID guinea pigs. Same thing. They forgot about them. My wife
Yeah.
has to clean it, feed them.
Yeah. I'm normally a cat person, not a frog person. So
True. And then the headphones are in these days, and they don't
Yeah,
talk with me.
no.
Come on.
no.
It happens, right? Happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Mine's on the Cape right now. So
Ooh. Wearing the cape.
Wellfleet
Oh, nice.
with Grandma.
Nice. No, I love the Cape. My family in Centerville and Hyannis.
My other half grew up summers on the
Okay.
Cape. His mother and grandparents were teachers.
Still have a house there and stuff? Or?
The cottage had to be demolished because it was about to fall in the ocean. But his mother built a house to retire to, and so that's still there.
Nice. Oh, yeah. What is your other half's name? And
David
Dave.
Murphy.
Shout out to David Murphy.
Yeah.
I've never met him. I've dropped off many things at your house. Oh, actually, no, I did chat with him once in the driveway.
Yeah, it's David is, there's a joke amongst our friends that it's rare that you see us together, and I think they sometimes question whether we exist.
Maybe it's like Fight Club. You're the same person, never in the same room at the same time.
No, we just, there are certain things that we have similar interests, and certain things we don't.
To each his own. Very cool. David Murphy. I like the name Murphy.
Yeah.
Does he go by Murph?
Not from me, no. It's funny. He has he has friends that call him Murph. He has friends that call him Dave, coworkers. But to me, it's David.
David.
Yes, always has been.
Very
Very
cool.
insistent.
Would you rather be too hot or too cold?
I would rather be too cold.
Would you rather live in a mansion or a farm?
Ooh. I'm going to go with the younger self would have said mansion, but me now farm. As long as I had somebody take care of the animals.
Would you rather live in a villa or a mansion?
Is there really a difference?
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
Would you rather be able to fly or read minds?
I'm going to go with fly because I feel like reading minds would turn into something really self-destructive
Yeah.
after a while.
All right, last one. Apple pie or pumpkin pie?
I'm going to go with pumpkin.
Nice. And you got to pick one of these. Dawn, Tiffany, or John. Pick one.
If I have to pick one, for what? To share my.
We're going to follow-up question.
Oh, so I'm just picking one. I'm not
Follow-up question.
picking my favorite one. So Tiffany pointed to herself, so I'll go with that.
So, Barry, what makes Tiffany a good friend? Our motto is be a good friend. Give a compliment, hold the door, pick up trash that's not yours, be charitable. What makes Tiffany? Or actually, start at Tiffany. We'll do all three. Tiffany first. Barry, what makes Tiffany a good friend?
Tiffany is, let's see. You know what? I think she listens. I said that early on where listening is important, and I think that that's something that she does. She also knows, she knows the line between, she has a very strong work ethic, but she also knows when to be fun. So I think those are two great things. And she buys the first round.
You're my friend. That's a great friend.
Now, Bailey, on the other hand, not so much.
Bailey. All right. So, last game. So this is the bird game. So we've asked, so far we have 22 seconds, 30 seconds, and 32 seconds. So you put your phone on speaker.
Yes.
You got to call someone and make them make a bird sound. That's all you got to do.
And it can't be them?
It can't be these guys.
All right. So I have to call somebody.
On speaker.
And do they...
You can say anything you want to make them go beep, beep, brr, brr. I would have bird. I don't want to give it away.
So I can't say that...
Make a bird sound.
I can't say make a bird sound.
Yeah, you can.
Oh,
Just
okay.
So you want to call someone that you can trust that's going to pick up.
Yeah.
Because it's timed. And then you want to call someone that's not going to question you. Like, hey, what are you talking about? You're crazy. Are you kidding? Blah,
You
blah,
know
blah.
what? I know who would do it.
And let me know when you're ready. We'll time
And
you.
it's definitely not David.
Look over at Dave, too, for... Are you going to get this? Oh, yeah.
All right. So...
All right. So... Oh, wait, you're on? Let me know when you start. I'm going to set the timer.
Hang on a second. My phone does a little...
Oh, you don't even... do you have an iPhone?
No.
Oh, Google Voice. Look at you. I'll start when it rings. Is it ringing? Does it ring out loud? Oh, here we go.
There we are. Hey, Bill. What sound does a Roadrunner make? Thank you.
All right. Wow.
That was really fast.
10 seconds. Bill.
I'll call you and later and explain.
Bill's a good friend.
All right. Talk later. Bye. He's like, what the hell was that?
Interesting strategy. I like that. You didn't say, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Good thought process. You're winning right now. 10 seconds.
Hey.
Ronald, episode 52, did it in 22 seconds, and he was like, thought he was never going to be beat. So Ronald.
Wow.
And then 30 was...
You know, he didn't know that I would be calling Bill and saying, what sound does a Roadrunner make?
Beep, beep. We got to look into stipulations. Is that the Warner Brothers bird sound, or is that a real Roadrunner? Does a real Roadrunner?
I don't think there was any distinction drawn.
My bad. You win. You're winning. 10 seconds.
That's the kind of friend Barry is. He doesn't know the answer. He finds out.
Good. Yeah. As a teacher move. I may not have the answer now, but I will get back to you. All right. Very cool. So we talked about the golf tournament. Bailey's playing in the golf tournament. Irish night. Dawn's coming to Irish night. We did crazy questions.
We did.
Kyle, how you doing over there, Kyle? How did Kyle do? It's his first day.
You know, he did great.
Isn't he awesome?
You know, nothing fell over, no loud noises.
We'll keep him around.
All right.
Crazy questions, again, sponsored by Donut Crazy. We have a hat fundraiser. It's a cool blue hat. You see the Gastro Park hats? The blue ones that Tate wears? We're going to put the Be a Good Friend. It's going to have one of these on the hat.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's better.
Right? Should I just go with
Yeah.
that? Here's our business card, some stickers. Hopefully a future guest over there, Dawn. Can I come on your show, Dawn?
If it's anything like this one, absolutely.
You're going to come on? Okay.
Absolutely.
And then I'll come on yours.
Absolutely.
Podcast.
Do
with
a
Dawn.
one and one.
Let's do it. We're doing it.
Simultaneously?
Ooh. Multi-stream
Yeah.
collaboration. First ever. Dual podcast. Can we pull that off? Dave says. So, yeah, really cool to have an audience again. Shout out John Bailey. Tiffany. That's what a Roadrunner makes, right?
Yeah.
And Dawn. Very cool, and it was wonderful chatting with you.
Likewise, thank you.
We collaborated on the Pride event, and it was a huge success, and we were very happy to be there. Friends of Feeney was honored. We had our booth. Sorry again, we missed it, but we will be back June 24th, 2023.
You got it.
Put it on your calendar, save the date. Everyone together now. We're going to count to 3. We'll say, be a good friend on 3. 1, 2, 3. Be a good friend.